So confused.
There it goes.
Now we're live. I'm glad I figured that out, or we would have been sitting here like, what's going on?
Hey guys.
Hi.
Oh gosh. Okay, let's see. It's still loading on my end. So
it's
oh. Okay, I see us.
Yes.
Oh.
So I'm new to StreamYard, so learning it is going to take me a minute, but I'll figure it out.
No worries.
Usually when I do lives, it's with Angela, and she runs it all because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing over here.
You're good. I can see us, so I know we are live. We have a couple people, so hello, guys.
Hi, everyone. Yeah. Welcome to the live.
Yes. Thank you for spending your Friday night with us.
Honestly, this is the only way I want to spend my Friday night, talking about Twilight things.
Oh,
I feel like I'm back in like 2008, like fangirling over everything.
Okay, have you noticed like an influx of Twilight memes on Instagram?
Oh yeah, and I love it. I'm just like,
I'm so emotional about it. Like, it makes me so happy that I want to cry.
My favorite is the TikTok side of like the TikTok side. It's the best thing ever. I'm like, I just want to scroll through TikTok all day with all these Twilight things.
Oh my god, I know. I've seen some really good ones.
Yeah, they really do make me emotional. I'm like, I want it to be back. Mm-hmm. But the one thing I've seen a lot of people, like, if I'll talk about Midnight Sun or something, they're like, are they making another movie? And I'm like, why would they make another movie? It's the same story, guys.
Yeah,
just a little bit more.
Sure Robert Pattinson would not play Edward again.
He has a love-hate relationship with Twilight, which, like, I can understand.
Mostly like a hate, but
yeah,
I think that makes him like even funnier, to be honest.
Yeah, I like listening to the like commentary that he's on for the movie, and he's just like dogging on Edward the whole time. I'm like, I love that.
Yeah, I think I saw one where it was like an interview. He's like, so like, do you have anything in common with Edward? And he was like, I kind of look like him. And I'm like, oh no.
You're like, oh, but like honestly, same. I don't feel like a lot of people have a lot of common with Edward. He's brooding and
but very emotional.
Oh my gosh,
emotional.
So emotional. I was like,
okay, if you guys have finished Midnight Sun, leave a comment and let us know that you finished it and what you thought, because I'm dying to know what you guys think, because I have a lot of feelings, and I've seen a lot of people have a lot of feelings.
I had a lot of feelings. I just loved it. It was so good. It was just what when it was first announced that it was Midnight Sun coming out, I was like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want this. This is not what I pay. Like, this is not what I stayed up for. But because I stayed up to see the announcement.
Find out what the announcement was?
Yeah. I didn't mean to stay up, but then I was like, oh, I guess I'll stay up, because I was watching Looking for Alaska, and I looked down at my clock, and it was like 5 a.m. I was like, I guess I'll go check it out. And I was like, oh, I should have guessed it was Midnight Sun, but it's not what I wanted. Like, I wanted either the sequel to The Host, which we'll never get, or a Jacob and Renesmee story, because, like, I'm obsessed with that. I know a lot of people have feelings about that, but I was like, I need that. I need, like, a love triangle. Could you imagine? Or, like, a love octagon. I was talking to my best friend about this. I was like, could you imagine, like, Renesmee, Jacob, Newell, like Alec, like throwing a Volturi, remember?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I want
that'd be like, my mind is trying to wrap that up. That'd be crazy.
But like, imagine Edward if Nessie was like, I love Alec. He would lose his mind, and I would be like, here for it, because my sole purpose in life is to just make Edward mad, because I want his reaction.
Did you read the first half, like when it first came out?
Yeah, but I don't remember like if is it exactly the same, because I didn't remember. I read it so long ago that it was like I remember this part, but it might be changed.
Oops, sorry, you were breaking up a little bit.
Sorry, guys.
You're good.
My interviewing weird. I don't know why. We've reset it like, but yeah, I don't remember exactly. Read it when it first was. She threw like it and was like, "I'm not releasing it," and I was like, "Okay." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, "I need a Jacob and Nessie story." Yes, I just want to see. I want to see where Edward catches. Oh no!
Yes, in my life, I would be a really bad person because my whole purpose in life, in my immortal life, would just to piss off Edward.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I don't. And I also wonder, like, would Bella let Edward like read Nessie's mind, or would she like shield it all the time? Because I would hate to have a father that read my mind. You wouldn't be able to get away with anything.
Yeah.
Even, like, stealing a cookie from the cookie jar, like, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and I think because she like grew up so fast, like she didn't have an actual like childhood, I guess. I wonder what her like mental state was like. Like was she a teenager like in her mind? Was she very mature? Like yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, because I think in the book, I can't remember in Breaking Dawn, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but it's said that like when she was 7, she had a mental capacity, like her mind worked at like a teenage age. So as she's growing up, she's like a teenager in a 7-year-old's body, and I always thought that was interesting.
She's super grown. I think you're right. It's been many years, but I think you're right.
Yeah. I reread them in like December because I was like, I want to reread Twilight. And then when it dropped at Midnight Sun, I was like, I'm not going to reread them again. And now I'm like, I'm rereading them. Like, I picked up Twilight last night. I was like, I'm not ready to leave. Sorry.
Oh my God. I know. I'm like so weird where I want to reread it because I'm so obsessed. But I also have so many emotions that I'm like, I don't want to hurt myself again. But
that was me like originally with Twilight because when I read Twilight, so funny story, my mom's best friend who read Twilight first was like telling my mom, was like, you need to read Twilight. Allison needs to read Twilight. And she was like, yeah, I'll read it. And then never did it. So we came home from the movies one day and my mom was like, go get the mail. So I picked the mail up and there's this package and it says at the top, the return address from E. Cullen. And I was like, Mom, who's E. Cullen? And my mom was like, oh my gosh, and rips it open. And that's how I started reading Twilight. And I read the first 3 until like all of those, they were out, and then I reread them over and over and over again. So Breaking Dawn came out, and then I went to the midnight like book release at my Barnes and Noble. Yeah, and it was super fun. We were gonna do something at my work originally, and then COVID happened, so we couldn't. But I was gonna make everyone in our store. We were all gonna wear matching Cullen baseball shirts, so we were gonna be the baseball team.
Oh man. I know. I tell everybody this, and I'm sure like people think that I'm a joke, but I really mean it. Like when I say Twilight changed my life.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Before Twilight, I actually hated reading, which is funny because today I'm an author.
Yeah, me too.
But I like specifically remember being on the phone, and this was like middle school maybe, being on the phone with my friend, and she read me the scene where Bella went on Edward's back and he like ran through the forest into that like clearing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like I've never read something like this. So I bought like the first 2 books and I've been like a reader ever since. Like this series literally changed my life.
When did you read the dedication in the beginning?
I
cried. I literally wasn't even in the book and I was crying because I was like, this book changed my life. Twilight is the reason that I love to write because when I read Twilight after that in middle school, I remember thinking and started writing again, being like, I could write a book. And then I wrote like a cheap ripoff of Twilight, but it still like was it really, because I'm dyslexic and I hated reading for the longest time because like I read all the Harry Potter books. I read like Ronald Dahl and like all of those books when I was younger and loved it. And then when I like couldn't read anymore because of my dyslexia. I was like, I hate reading. And then Twilight like literally hit me in the head and I was like, I'm a reader again. And now I have
like actual fan fiction.
Oh yeah, I wrote fan fiction, yes.
Wrote fan fiction.
Yeah, but my fan fiction wasn't on fanfiction.com. It was actually I don't know if you guys ever saw this, but it was like where you would take a picture. It was like a video form of fan fiction on
Really?
It was like a lot of people, it was like a community and everyone would write like Twilight fan fiction and you would like put the picture up and then you'd put the words up and you would like make this video. And then I did like a collab with people. It was like
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that was fun.
So funny.
I know someone.
I did like the fanfiction.com, and I think like I've only ever written like one fanfiction piece for Twilight, and it was about Emmett because I loved Emmett. Like Kellen Lutz. Oh my God, he was baby daddy. I was like 14. I loved everything about him. And it was kind of like rewriting the scene where he became a vampire, like with Rosalie, because we never like see it. So I kind of like I was Rosalie in that.
Of course, yeah.
But like it got some pretty good traction. So
I remember when I
want to find it again.
I know you should. If you ever find it, I want to read that because it's probably not that bad. No, I just remember when I was younger, I was like, I didn't like any of the like Cullens except for Alice. Like I didn't care about any of them. I was like, you know what? Edward's here, Alice is here. This is all I need.
Yeah.
And then the movies came out, and I was like a little bit more like a Jacob person. Like I like had a really hard time choosing because I was like, I don't like Jacob with Bella, but I like Jacob as a character, and that was like my thing was. And as I was watching the movies today, and it's something with Taylor Lautner's eyes. He like really brings like Jacob alive, and I'm like, you're really pulling me in, and I really love you. So like I totally understood why people like Jacob, and I fell in love with him in Breaking Dawn because that's my favorite book. Breaking Dawn's my favorite because of the Jacob thing.
Okay. So, yeah, I loved Edward reading the books. I was Team Edward. But once the movie was casted, I think it was like a couple years after, what is it? Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yes. They're making a second one. Did you know that?
So right, because they're like parents or something, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. And so I had thought like he was like so cute, and I was like, oh my God, like he's gonna play Jacob. So I bought like a Team Jacob shirt, but like in my heart it's always been Edward.
Yeah, I was always Team Edward for Bella, but in my heart I was like, I could never be with Edward. Like, there's like moments where I literally want to knock Edward out, like the part I just watched it in the movie where he rips her like her like something out of her truck to make her so she can't go see Jacob in the middle of the night. And I would literally beat him. I'd be like, listen, we are going to fight this out. Like, we're going to be together because I'm way more stubborn than Bella. He's like, you're so stubborn. I'm like,
no, she's not.
About stubborn? Like, I would have been a vampire before you even came back to Forks.
Right.
Like, I would have been like, you know what, Laurent, let's just do
that.
It's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Stacy says I have not, but I love this darker, more cynical version of Edward that we get to know about, and then being able to know in depth more about the Cullens' thoughts in Edward's reading. That was really, yes, I really like that, how they kind of all talk just through his mind, like just him reading their minds, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because we're not gonna talk about spoilers, but he's like he's different than I expected.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in the movie, he's really like more like mysterious and
so
like
angst.
Yeah, so much angst. But like when you read the book, he actually has a lot of feelings. Like he's really emotional.
Yeah. How Jasper is able to be around him, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because if I was Jasper, I'd be like, I'm out. But I also liked how we got to see the Cullens in a different light. Like, we really get to see Alice, and I feel like it shows her not just being like the fortune teller, like little
like
pixie girl.
Yeah, she's described.
Yeah. And I always forget that the movies cut out that we know more about Alice's past. And I always forget that. And then when I read it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about this. And I love that. But I also liked how we got to see Rose a lot, because Rosalie is one of my favorites now. I see her and I'm like, I understand you now.
Yeah.
As an older, like, adult, I'm like, I get Rose.
Yeah, we get to see a lot of her in this book. So for those of you who haven't finished yet, you get to see a lot of Rose in this book.
Yeah, I feel like you get to see a lot of everyone except for maybe Emmett. And I'm like, I wanted more Emmett.
No, I love Emmett.
But then again, Emmett's like really carefree. So like, what he really doesn't.
What more could you really like give him?
He's like, I'll just go along with anything you guys go along with, and as long as there's a fight, I'll be there.
Right.
Yeah. So I loved Midnight Sun. My mom's like, I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, my mom too. She's like, are you done yet? And I'm like, yes, you can have it.
I know. There were so many feels for the book. And I just
definitely want to do like a movie marathon. I know it's gonna like hurt my soul. I still want to do it.
Have you watched the extended versions of the movies?
No, I haven't.
You have to watch them, because I'm watching them for the first time, and I'm so mad at what they've cut, because there's so many scenes that like make Kristen Stewart as Bella just feel more Bella-ish, or like Alice feel more Alice. And I'm like, why did you cut this from the movie? Because it really doesn't make the movie that much longer. Like, they kept most of the stuff in, and it makes the storytelling just so much more cohesive, I feel like. And they're so good.
Are you watching them on Amazon?
Yeah, they're on Amazon Prime, all the extended ones.
Okay. Let's see. I love seeing the Cullens so much. I love them all. Even Esme finally got these. Yeah.
I love Esme. I like really didn't like Esme, or like didn't appreciate Esme as much when I was younger, but now I'm like, I love Esme. She really keeps that household in line. She keeps everyone in line. Yeah.
There was one point where like Edward referred to her as like mom, and I was like, so cute.
I know. I love that.
Okay, Diane said, I haven't read any of the Twilight series. Oh, thanks.
You should read the Twilight series.
You should give it a chance.
It's really good. It's addicting. And it's cool that Stephanie she's from Arizona. So she lives, I think, in Sedona. Yeah, so it's cool to like see her write about Arizona, because I feel like Arizona doesn't get the love like in books. Like, it doesn't, but like I don't blame anybody, because who wants to write about Arizona? There's nothing cool here except for rocks and cactuses. But it's cool to see her write about somewhere, and I'm like, I know where that is. I know exactly what's going on there.
Yeah.
And then I feel like Bella, like, I felt more like Bella when I was younger, because she was from Arizona. I was like, I could be there. Which is another thing, is Stephanie Myers is really good about making Bella like this character that anyone can relate to and put themselves in. I feel like that's not like a huge thing now in YA. Like, a lot of like Sarah J. Maas makes her characters like really like stand on their own, or like all of that. But Bella is someone that you could feel like you are. And when I was like reading the books earlier, I was like, wow, I feel like I could be Bella, even though I don't really look like her, but I still could.
Yeah, and I think that's funny, because I feel like that's why Twilight got so much crap. Like, everyone was like, oh, she's so like, ugh. But let's be real, in real life, we're all kind of like that. Like, we wouldn't be these like badass, kick-ass heroines. Probably not. If you are, that's amazing. But I'm definitely more Bella in real life. So it's
Yeah, I feel like she, a lot of the times, like in Twilight, so the Twilight movie and Twilight, the reveal of Edward being a vampire is very different. In one, she's just sitting in a car, and the other one, it's like, I know what you are.
right.
They're like spitting around a forehead.
Out loud. She's like,
Whenever my mom's like says something, is like say it, and I'm like out loud. She's like, shut up. Like I quote Twilight all the time.
oh,
But I think it's funny because she's just so calm and collected with that. And if I was her, I'd be like, I'm out. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
oh my gosh.
especially now we know what was going on. Like, I'd be out. Like she's really brave in most parts, but at the same time, she's human in a world of supernatural.
Yeah, which is why I really enjoyed this one too, because she was like so calm, like she didn't even really have a lot of questions, and even he was like, "Wow,
what's wrong with you?"
really brave. Like, what's wrong with her?
Literally. But at the same time, I believe in so much supernatural that I'd probably be like, "Oh, you're a vampire? Okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
how is that? Like, what do you do on a daily basis?
Right. Are you a sparkly vampire or are you a bird in the sun?
Yeah. Like, do you have to wear a ring? Also, like, do blood types taste different? Like, when I was sitting reading the book, I was like, does O neg and O positive taste different? Because, like, Evan's favorite is bear and his favorite is mountain lion. So there has to be a different taste.
Yeah.
So many questions those are the questions I would ask Stephenie Meyer if I ever met her. Yes. I'm still reading Eclipse, but I'm debating on if I should read Midnight Sun. If you really liked the books, I would say yes, because you get a lot of insight. My book that I would really want to see insight on, not necessarily New Moon, because all it is going to be angst. Edward's just angst the whole time, and like Rowan and Voltura, like just chilling, staring, crushing phones, you know, the normal. I want to see Eclipse because I want to know his thoughts on Jacob other than what we got in this book. Because I forgot Jacob was 15 and that he's 16 when he changes into a wolf. But
yeah, like Edward still thinks of him as like, I think he calls him like a child.
Yeah, which honestly,
I mean, true, but
he is, but he's not that much younger than Bella. And a lot of people were like, I forgot he was so young. That's weird. I'm like, it's not that weird. She's dating a 118-year-old vampire. So, like, comparison. Right.
Him being 16 is not that.
Yeah. Because he's only 18 when in Eclipse. But yeah, I would love to see Eclipse's, like, especially that tent scene. I'm not going to give it away because if you're reading this, but like the tent scene, I would love to see, like, what was Jacob really thinking in that tent?
Yes. I saw a TikTok. It was like a scene during Eclipse when like Bella wore a like a bracelet that like Jacob made her. Did you see that one? Yeah, the wolf. And Edward's like face, and I'm just like, man, now that I know he's so sassy, I really wanted to know what he was thinking.
She's like, he's like, I have to put on those halves of your heart, and I'm like, oh, the drama.
The drama.
Literally, chill out, bro. Like, he just for a wolf. It's fine. Yeah, I saw that. He's so sassy.
Yeah. And I think I love him like a little bit more because of that.
Yeah. As a fellow Arizona person, I love that. When she describes Sky Harbor and stuff, I've been there. Yes, every time I go to Sky Harbor, I'm like, which bathroom did Bella sneak out of? I always had the question of, like, if Alice was watching her decisions, what?
Oh, you're frozen. Still frozen.
on, guys.
There you go. Nope. Frozen again. Guys, can someone leave a comment? Let us know if we're frozen for you. Let me know. Oh. Okay, just waiting. I know I'm just here right now. Let me know if you guys can still see me and if Allison was frozen for you guys.
I'm back. I don't know what happened, but it was like, see ya, Allison. Edward was like, you're talking bad about me. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Literally. Oh, I asked questions on Instagram.
Yeah.
On TikTok.
Cool.
Let me look at those.
Okay. I submitted a bunch of them, so.
I know, I saw. I was like, yes.
I have so many questions.
I have to get through all of my hockey
stuff.
Oh, so much hockey. Okay. Let's start up here. Which vampire talent would you want if you could have one? I thought about this one.
Okay, you go. I want to think.
I would want Alex's power. I don't know why. His power just is so scary, and like people are scared of him. And I'm a 5-foot little blonde girl that I would have to have something that was scary for people to take me seriously. Like I think the twins are so cool. Everyone hates them, but I love them so much.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, he like paralyzes. And in the book, it's not like I hate in the movie. It's like this black smoke, but I'm pretty sure in the book it's just like he cuts it. Like he just cuts your senses off, and so you don't see it coming. Like in the movie, they had to do like a visual. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also like Jane's power though too, and how it's like from the burning, being the witch.
Yeah, dang, those are good. I'm gonna have to steal your answer though and go for Alex's power, just because one that's like sick.
Yeah,
and I feel like it would help you get out of like any situation that you found yourself in.
Yeah, I thought about like Benjamin's power, who's the elementalist in Breaking Dawn, and I was like, that's cool, but like, how often are you like around something? Like if you're in school, like what are you gonna do? An earthquake, like to get out of something? Like that's not helpful. But a lot of the Volturi's powers are really cool, and that's why they're in the Volturi.
That's why they're there.
Yeah, a lot of someone commented or said something the other day, and was like, if you could be in the Cullens or the Volturi, which one? You'd be like the Volturi, duh. And they were like, oh, and I was like,
why?
Sorry, I want to hang out with like Felix and Dimitri and Alec.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm just always drawn to like the darker side of a story. I'm like, I gotta go over there. It's my Slytherin in me. I gotta go. Yeah. But I always thought Alec was a cool character, and I would have loved to see more of the Volturi than what we got.
Yeah, I think I was reading something about Jane. Like someone was saying like she's actually like a really cool character, but the only reason she was so hated was because she was like portrayed that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, like if you were on the Cullen side, they would love her.
Yeah, and like if you look at Jane, she is like a very protective person over her brother, and for obvious reasons. And also like if you were Jane, you'd want to protect your family, and like that's her family. So it's like the same thing as the Cullens. Like if we saw the Cullens through other people's eyes, we might hate them. So
yeah, it's like that. Like you're always going to be like a villain to somebody or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Someone said they loved my cup. Thank you. I also have Edward, but I couldn't find Edward today, so I'm Team Jacob because honestly, I'm just trying to be the living embodiment of Renesmee Cullen. So,
wish I was her.
Yeah, literally. I actually got told I was in when I worked at the bookstore when I could. I was in the aisle one night. It was like almost closed, and this girl like ran up to me and she's like, this isn't weird, or this is weird to say. Like, I don't mean to be weird, But I just finished Breaking Dawn, and you look exactly what I envisioned Renesmee Cullen to be like. And I was like,
Gosh,
my life
that's
had
the
made,
best moment of your life.
so much. She was like, that you're not offended? I'm like, no, I want to be Renesmee Cullen.
Right. I want to be her.
It's what it is. So
It's so funny. Let's see. I want Jasper's powers or Carlisle's if you count his self-control.
yeah. Which I always wondered if maybe Bella, because she knew about vampires, got that kind of self-control power too. If she because she knew Carlisle and maybe it rubbed off on her a little bit. But yeah, Carlisle's self-control is really good.
Yeah.
To be able to work in a hospital as a vampire,
yeah.
I'd want him as a doctor. So it's fine. If that walked into my hospital room, I'd be like, someone get the paddles because
oh my god,
he's attractive. So yeah, I think Jasper's power would be fun, but I think it'd bring me a lot of anxiety too. Because if you're feeling everything everyone's feeling, and everyone has so many feelings nowadays.
Oh, where'd I go? Oh, there I am. Yeah, I can. Yeah, and it makes sense why he's always like just such a stick, barely moving, and why Alice is always reminding him blink or breathe or whatever. He's just like.
Yeah. Because on top of the blood, he's also feeling everyone else's anxiety. And when you're in a high school, could you imagine Jasper sitting in a high school classroom nowadays where all the kids are I mean, especially when I went to high school, everyone was like, oh my gosh, it was a new drama every day. Poor Jasper.
Yeah.
Having to sit through that. But I think it'd be fun to have his powers too, because he controls people's emotions too. And what we find out in Midnight Sun now, also with his powers, I won't give it away. I was like, you're my favorite now. You're cool. Yeah. I was just yeah. What other ones do we have? Would you rather live in a coven / family or be a lone wolf? Ooh, a nomad? I feel I'd want to live in a coven or a family or a pack, depending on if you're going to be a werewolf or a vampire. I feel I couldn't be alone.
I mean, especially with these types of vampires, I think it'd be easier to be in a family, but in other ones, other interpretations of vampires, maybe by yourself, but
yeah, maybe, yeah, if I was in the Vampire Diaries, maybe kind of being alone wouldn't be bad because they're not,
as long as you have your ring, you're pretty much human.
Yeah, because they can eat and drink and and sleeps, but with the Twilight vampires, they can't really do anything. So who's going to entertain me?
Yeah, exactly.
What am I going to entertain myself with? I think I just want to be friends with Jasper so he could use his calming on me, to be honest. Yeah, true. He'd probably calm my hyperness down. He'd be like, you need to calm down.
Say chill pill.
Yeah. He's like, here's your chill pill for the day.
Gosh.
Jasper would hate me. It's too wild. Let's see what else. What other questions? Favorite vampire series? Oh, this is hard. You asked this.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many.
I have a specific vampire show. So that's what I'm looking at.
I think for me, I would have to say book-wise, probably Twilight. Because I love Twilight, but if we're talking movie and TV, the Vampire Diaries and the originals and stuff. That is I love them so much.
Yeah, but I think either way, I would probably choose the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Again, they're the most normal, I guess. The ones that have the ring or whatever, they're just living their best lives. They're starting.
Oh, yeah. And now, and then you could be a hybrid if you had to be. I'm Klaus Michelson. I'm I love you. I love Klaus.
Yeah.
And Cole and Elijah. I want to just be a Michelson. So.
I know the originals was so good.
I know. My only thing is I didn't like that they ended both of the series the way they did. Because it was like the same thing. I was like, okay, first you're going to do this in the Vampire Diaries, and then you're going to do the same thing pretty much in the originals. And like, I understand there was a reason, but I was just like, what about Caroline, guys?
Well, okay, so to be honest, I specifically never finished either series because I knew what was happening. Like for the originals, I watched everything but the last episode because I had already cried so much.
Yeah, I was a cry. Yeah, I love them. It's just so good. But and like my favorite character like of all time in TV is Caroline Forbes because I'm literally her. My mom was watching it and she's like, I hate Caroline. And then I was like, you raised the Caroline. And she's like, no, I didn't. And I was like, just keep watching. And then she came in my room one day and was like, you are Caroline Forbes. And I was like,
my God.
I was like, I would be the neurotic control freak vampire. That's just me. So I love her, but I was upset with, I was like, guys.
Yeah. Caroline was like my biggest ship ever. And they're the reason I stopped watching the Vampire Diaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do want to rewatch it though. Like,
yeah, I love to rewatch it. That's that show and Teen Wolf are like my go-to. Like I'll turn them on in the background. Teen Wolf's my favorite show of all time. But yeah, those are really good. My friends will be like,
Teen Wolf. I never finished it.
It's so worth it if you were like a Lydia and Styles fan. Like I was such a ship for Lydia and Styles that I was like, I have to finish it. And it happened. So I was very happy with that.
I think I got to like the season with like doctors or something.
Oh yeah.
And then I never finished that one. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Then
the Styles just disappear in that one, or is that that might be the season before, or the like season whatever. It's like 6A and 6B. They always have. Maybe you watch 6A.
Maybe I for sure didn't finish it though, so I have to rewatch it.
Yeah, it's really good. I just rewatched it again with my friends, and I was like, oh. It's so good. It's such trash TV, but I love trash TV.
Oh, me too.
Like my brand is just I like trash things, and it's okay. Like one of my favorite movies is The Covenant, and it's so bad.
My God.
Everyone wanted Stephen Strait to be Jacob. I remember like when people were like casting like who they wanted, Stephen Strait was like Jacob, and I could totally see it. But I like Taylor Lautner.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I rewatched it recently. I was like, this is kind of bad, but like I love it.
I love crappy movies.
Yeah, it has the Winter Soldier in it, so.
yeah. Oh my God.
I love that someone else has feeling for Lydia and Styles too in the comments.
Me too. Yeah, I'll rewatch it just because I want to see them get together.
Yeah, I am just looking for my Styles in the world like that. That is me.
I know.
Because when we watch shows, me and my best friends always like name who's who in the show, and one of my friends that hadn't seen it was like, "You are literally Lydia," and I was like, "Yes, I just know Styles now."
Styles, I know.
So good. Would you rather Damon or Edward? Damon. 100% Damon.
God. I was actually thinking about my answer to this earlier. I would want to say Damon, but I love the fact that Edward is like so down for love.
That's true. But I feel like Damon is too.
But so much later and like so much heartbreak and like
I love Damon. Like honestly, I'm more of a Stefan girl because he is more like the one that's like down for love. He's like the hopeless romantic, but I love Damon in the sense that I could not handle Edward. Like we would fight all the time. Like it wouldn't be this perfect love story. We would fight because we're just polar opposites.
Okay.
I like the Alice in his life that he's just like all the time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, Yeah, Damon, Stefan, and Elena was like the one really well done love triangle that even I am like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I like always was on the Stefan side because in the books, Damon is like a really big like antagonist. Like he's not what he is in the show. So I was always like, I like Stefan, but then the Damon and Elena thing, I'm like, okay, wait. And then they did the Stefan and Caroline thing, and I was like, wait, I need this in my life because I like when relationships go from like them being like the friendship and then going into like love. Like it was such a good
So you
arc.
liked Stefan and Caroline.
I did. I also like Caroline and Klaus.
Okay.
But like they left that like open, and then we were watching the band or the originals, and I liked Cammy and Klaus. So I was like,
Loves Cammy.
I was like, shoot. And then I liked Haley and Elijah, and so like there's so many good like ships in that show that I just bounced around, and I was like. But no, Klaus and Caroline were definitely endgame for me. But I was like, this one's cute over here.
Yeah.
When he said those words, I remember exactly when I was sitting on my couch, like watching the premiere of this episode when he was like, he is your first love. I intend to be your last. I threw whatever I was eating and just started crying. I was like, if someone said that to me, I would be like, let's get married.
Oh my God. I know. Ugh, I'm emotional.
So yeah, I love them so much. Would you rather a Salvatore or a Cullen? And you guys can answer these in the comments.
Yeah,
I want to hear your opinions too. Ooh, a Salvatore or a Cullen? I like the drama of the Salvatores, but I like the consistency of the Cullens. So I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I like the family dynamic of the Cullens because the Salvatores, they have like a strong family, but they like hurt each other all the time too.
Yeah, they're like clashing.
Yeah, so probably the Cullens for me.
Probably the Cullens too, just because I like the dynamic of them. But I'd like to go hang out with the Salvatores.
Yeah, for sure.
Now the real question is the Salvatores or the Michelsons?
Oh my God.
The Michelsons. I want to live in New Orleans and
yeah. Yes. But I also feel like now they're a family that really hurt each other.
They're like backstabbing each other all the time. But I feel like I would be the sister that everyone loved. I wouldn't backstab anyone. I'd be like, Klaus, I'm your favorite. Remember this. And he'd be like, true. You can't.
Or he'd stab you.
Yeah, so
that's hard.
But
I would love a Cullen, Edward especially, Salvatore all the way.
That's like a life decision. Which one would you like to die with more? I'd rather die in Klaus's arms. So.
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like that's why I loved Klaus so much because he's like the picture perfect of that like damaged bad boy. But like when he does love, he loves like super, super, super hard.
Yeah, he has so many emotions and he just doesn't know how to like release them because of his childhood. So I'm like, I love it. I also love Elijah and how he's like so proper and like
I loved Elijah.
But I like Cole because he's like the wild child of the family and I'm like, you're cool too.
And I also love the two characters playing him.
Him and Davina. Oh. I love Davina.
Yeah. I loved, their like full story.
Yeah. The only ship I didn't like in that was Rebecca and what was his name? No, I can't remember. The guy who fought Klaus for New Orleans.
Yeah. Marcel.
What was it?
Marcel.
Oh, Marcel. Yeah. I didn't like them together. I just didn't feel like they fit.
Yeah, I mean, I liked them, but I just felt like towards like the last season, like when they went like away together, and then she got like a letter or something like that. Like I knew she was gonna leave. So then I was just kind of like over it, you know?
Yeah. I liked her with Stefan. I like it was a toxic relationship. Like it was totally like no because he's a ripper, but like I still liked them together. It was really fun to see them and like that part. Let's see. Would you ever write your own vampire series? Oh wait, hold on. Jeremy or Jacob?
Yep.
Oh, shoot. The little brothers of the series, pretty much. See, I liked Jeremy with Bonnie, and he was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jeremy's too emo for me. I don't think I could deal with his emotions, so I'm gonna go with Jacob.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jacob because he's at least really sure of himself and like where he fits like in his pack and like society.
Yeah, and also Jeremy does he like sent away, so he doesn't remember anybody. He like forget us all and like everything. So yeah, I don't know. I like Jeremy as a character, but I don't think I could handle him.
Yeah, for
sure. Moody. He's like the moody version of like Elena and him are just moody all the time.
Yeah, they are pretty moody.
Like, oh, we're gonna burn a house down now because one of them's dead. Oops.
Right, sick.
Probably Jacob.
Jacob.
Yeah,
too emo.
Yeah, he like that whole season with Anna and him. I was like, oh my gosh, someone get this kid.
Yeah.
Him and Vicky, I was like, oh, someone just like put him out of his misery. Damon snapped his neck. It's fine. Oh, this was my question. Would you write your own vampire series?
Yes. So I actually have an idea. I don't have anything like it's not plotted out or anything, but like I have the idea, and I do think that I'm going to attempt at traditionally because my indie career is already paranormal. Like I would easily like self-publish it too, but I would try to traditionally publish it.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I would write a vampire novel just because I'm not like I love vampires, don't get me wrong, but like vampires have been done so much that I always go towards like I did Fallen Angels and Angels, which are done a lot but not a ton. And then once I'm done with this, I'm actually doing a Greek retellings. And like I'm really into like high fantasy right now.
Okay.
So I don't know because I love vampires, but I'm never going to say no because whenever I say I'm never going to do something, I end up doing it. Like I was like, I'm never going to own a white car. I own a white car. So I don't know. Yeah. But I want to traditionally publish my retelling as well. I want to be a hybrid author like Jennifer L. Armentrout. But I think, I don't know. If they get back, and I think they are.
Well, and that's like the interesting thing because did you read The Beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of vampires were they? Because I haven't read it yet.
We didn't even know that they were vampires until like that's the thing with The Beautiful. I liked it. You don't even know like they don't use the word. They don't say what they are till like the last 100 pages, and I'm like, okay. And then the new one, so I haven't read the new one, but I've heard good. So I'm like.
Yeah,
but you didn't give us anything. Like waiting,
and that's how I felt about Crave, because the marketing was just so off. Like Crave is not the new Twilight. Like it's really not. And so that's why, like, I think it's interesting that these are like the vampires are back like books, because like when I hear vampires, I'm expecting. Like the family of vampires, or at least like a vampire hunter. Like, I don't know.
Kind of like True Blood vampire, even too.
Yeah, or like I haven't read it yet, but I know Slayer by Kirsten, whatever her name is.
White. Oh, isn't that Buffy the Vampire?
Yeah, so at least like that, I'm like, okay, it's not like,
Or like
these.
a Vampire Academy kind of
Yeah,
idea. Yeah, that's how I feel. And I liked Crave because it was interesting and I really did like Crave because it kept me entertained, but at the same time I was like, how did this get published? Because like it was like
I think it's
the
interesting.
narrator said AF. If they said AF one more time, I was gonna throw my book across the thing. I was like, people don't say that in real life or in their thoughts.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why it got published because like especially in young adult, like authors kind of typically go like one of two ways. Like one where it's like teens don't do that, like they don't do any of that, or they're like in Crave where they're like, oh my, OMG, AF, like da 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 da, and I'm like, we also don't do that either though.
It felt like I was reading a Wattpad story
Yeah,
in book form. And I was like,
people think young adults are like.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I like the book. It was entertaining. So I will read the second book. But at the same time, it's like there's so many other books that could be published that are vampire-esque or, these gothic stories
Yeah.
that are Wattpad stories. Like that's what's frustrating. And like same with like 50 Shades of Grey was just a Twilight fan fiction. And that is making billions of dollars. So and like after is Harry Styles fan fiction. So I'm like, what are we doing over
Really?
here? We're publishing.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I'm just like, but I did enjoy it, but it was interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
And all the
It gives
characters
me hope though, because I'm like, if that could be published.
yeah. Bye.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for participating.
Yes. So, let's see. Favorite fictional world, Twilight, Shadowhunters, TVD, etc. Ooh, this is hard.
Yeah.
Can I say my own because I love Idlewood? Other than mine, I would have to say that's hard.
Yeah, I think I like. Well, also, I was just watching it last night. I like the Shadowhunter world because there's so many aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Because the series is so big and it was like a movie and a show,
Yeah.
I feel like we really got to see all of them,
Did you like the show?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it just because like I want to know the story. Like I want to see it.
Yeah.
But did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the first two seasons. Actually,
Okay.
I stopped watching after the whole like Alec and Magnus got together at the like fake wedding with
Okay.
Lydia.
Okay.
Like I stopped because I was like, I'm going to lose my mind because it's one of my favorite series. I love Cassandra Clare.
Yeah.
And it was like they were talking about touching the infernal devices, and I was like, do not touch them. Do not touch TDA. Like, I just can't do it because I don't know. Jace was just not Jace, and people were like shipping Alec and Clary more, and I was like, they're supposed to hate each other.
What?
He's gay, and she's supposed to be in love with Jace, and they killed off Jocelyn, and I was like, how are you going to do this? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think like it sucked because they ended the show like pretty abruptly. Like it wasn't their fault. Like they didn't know. But I mean it was done well in those short episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally felt like that's when it got like pretty good
Mm-hmm.
and like followed the books like really well.
Didn't they take the ending of the show? Didn't they take what happened at the end of the very end of the last book and make it Clary? See, that would have made me mad. I would have been like, why are we? See, Cassandra Clare does such a good job of like painting a picture of like what is supposed to happen, but like you can't mess with it, like because then it messes with everything else. And also, I think I watched one episode with Sebastian, and he just like didn't do it for me because Sebastian is one of my favorite villains of all time. And I was like, but I did like the movie to the point where we weren't sticking our hands through portal bubbles and stroking each other's faces. I was like, why are we doing? It's like, I don't understand why Hollywood does these things.
Oh my god, because it's so romantic.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't want that happening to you?
With the Jammin' Demi Lovato song. Like, I was into that when he gives her the rock, the I don't remember what the light rock.
Witch, yeah.
Yeah, the witch light or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we I took my best friends to that movie and they were like, why is he stroking her face through there? Like, that's just creepy to me. I was like, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I like I'm like looking at my shelf, like, which world would I want to live in? Because there's so many. My immediate reaction right now is to live in the ACOTAR world because I'm in love with Cassian and I just want to be in love with Cassian. Like, kick Ness out. But that's probably not my answer. I think, oh no, I know my answer. I want to live in the selection world because I want to be married to Maxon. I want to be America or Marley. I love the selection world. Like, the dresses, like.
I haven't read it, but I've seen a lot about it.
It's so good. And they're making a Netflix show of that one. If they ruin that, I'm gonna lose my mind. But Netflix has been
they're going to.
But
the thing is, they're gonna ruin everything.
The thing is, I really liked All the Boys I Love Before. I'm excited to see that. I really liked those and whatever they're coming out with something else. Netflix is the chemical hearts with Elle Fanning. Oh no, not Elle Fanning. No, Lily Reinhart. That one.
I think I think I've seen that title, but I don't know what it's about.
I haven't read it. Vampires, Twilight, TV, Underworld, etc.
Yeah, so I feel like we kind of talked about it, but I like the Vampire Diaries because I like how normal they are, but they're also like they can still be killed. Like they're not like completely invincible, you know?
You know who are some of my new favorite vampires though? Stephanie's. Well, it was the birth of I can never say it right. The birth of
yeah.
But she renamed it, so I don't remember the name now. But I love those vampires because they're so ingrained in like myth, and like this necklace is like a thing, and so I like really love those vampires, and so those are like some really fun ones too.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah. So I like those. I like the vampires. I also like the true vampires.
Yes, I love True Blood, but I think their fangs are so funny. Like how right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that was like the time period the TV show was made because if you look back at the Vampire Diaries, they like made them like look up and then like bite and they had like these veins under their eyes and then throughout the series like that goes away.
Yeah, I never really like paid attention, but yeah, they would get like super veiny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, I had a question. Yeah. What is your favorite Twilight movie? Like, which one is your favorite?
Ooh,
5 of them.
I think I really liked. What's the one with like we get to see a lot of Jasper?
Eclipse.
That's Eclipse? Okay. Yeah, I really liked Eclipse.
That's my favorite too. I was just watching it before this and I like remembered why I loved it so much. Just the cinematography is so good. The script is so good. Like the angst between Edward and Jacob, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because as much as I love Breaking Dawn, those movies just like don't do it for me as much. I'm like, okay. Like
it's just a lot too.
It's a lot. And especially the last movie, it's a lot for the book. Like,
well, yeah, the first one is basically her
having Renesmee.
Right, having Renesmee, and then like her body being all frail and stuff. So
Yeah.
she didn't even do anything like the last half of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, the only the one scene so I saw this because someone posted it on TikTok, but it's a deleted scene in the extended version, and it's Edward finding out that Jacob has imprinted on Renesmee, and he breaks his arm, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. He throws Jacob across the room because he's like, what the heck? And then because I always thought in the movie that he was just so calm, and he's like,
oh yeah, but it was Bella freaking out. She's like,
yeah,
named my daughter after
the Loch Monster. I would have been like, yeah, I did. But and she's like, you imprinted on my child. And that's what I think a lot of people, because I saw a lot of people being like, it's so gross that Jacob imprinted on a baby. And I was like, do you not know what imprinting is?
Right.
Also, do you not remember a book back that Quill is imprinted on a 3-year-old? So
right. It's not meant
this,
to be sexualized or anything.
Yeah, but people do
everybody.
And I think that the movie did that a little bit. When she was screaming about it, and I was like, guys, this isn't he describes exactly what it is.
Right.
He is whatever she wants him to be. He's not oh yeah, that baby. No, that's not how this works. And it always makes me so mad when people take it that way. I'm like, do you guys not understand? Because I have in my novellas that I'm writing, there's this soul ceremony that you it's kind of like imprinting, but not really. It's to find your soulmate, your other half. And I'm whenever I'm writing, I'm are people gonna take this how they take Renesmee and Jacob? But it's yeah. So that was I wanted to know, because everyone always says that their favorite is Breaking Dawn Part 1, and I just or New Moon, and I'm like,
New Moon is basically Bella just sitting in her chair and the camera going around her for 5 months.
I told my mom, I said if we lost when we were watching the hockey game, I said if we lost the hockey game, I was gonna be Bella in her chair today.
That's me every day.
Yeah, it's just last possibilities. It's totally fine.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, would you rather burn in the sunlight or sparkle?
Well, definitely sparkle, because I don't want to burn.
See, I want the Vampire Diaries ring. Or don't the originals not need they don't have to wear a ring, right? I'm pretty sure they don't burn or anything, because I think they. I swear, Klaus doesn't wear a ring.
Yeah.
So if I was an original, yeah, and they don't burn in the sun, the original vampires. So I
Sting.
Yeah, I think it was something that because the original witch, then chose for everyone, all the other vampires, because she was trying to make them extinct. Then she made the tree be poisonous, because that's the only reason you can kill an original.
Yeah, the tree.
The tree.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's why she made vervain be a thing. So yeah, I always saw that, and I was like, oh, but yeah, I'd want the ring, so I wouldn't burn in the sun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like going outside, and I live in Arizona, so how am I gonna sparkle all the time?
That's just sparkling.
Fine. Honestly, I saw the funniest thing on TikTok, and it was the Cullens adopted a Gen Z vampire, and it was Alice, come to the party. It's fine if you sparkle. Everyone at raves sparkles. It's just glitter. Just tell them it's really expensive glitter from Fenty. And I was
that's so
so true. You're not wrong.
Fenty glitter.
It's just Fenty glitter embedded into my skin. It's fine.
Right, I drink it.
And yeah, it's really fine. They'd be like, oh, what bottle? Just name a random highlighter. You're like, that one. So do you want to play a game?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay. So I have these name cards. This one says Vampire Bill. it's from True Blood, but my mom always calls him Vampire Bill or Vampire
Oh,
Eric.
Vampire Bill, yes.
And yeah, one of them. But they're all in here, and we can play Rip It or Shoot It or Kiss, Marry, Kill, whichever you want to play.
Okay. Wait, what is Rip It?
So you choose two, and it's like kind of like a crack ship. So then, like, I'll show you. Like, you choose like Alice Cullen and Dracula. Would you ship this or would you rip this?
Oh, okay.
Like, that's kind of, and then Kiss, Marry, Kill. Kiss, Marry, Kill. Honestly, I feel like Dracula and Alice would get along. So
yeah, I was gonna say I ship it.
yeah. So which one do you want to play?
Let's do that one. Let's do Rip It.
Rip it, ship it. Okay.
Yeah. And then you guys give us your answers too.
Yes. If you're watching, you have to give us your answers. Okay. I have two in my hand. Vampire Bill and Dracula. I don't ship this one. I don't feel like they get along well. I feel like they fight.
I feel like Vampire Bill would be a little bit too emotional.
Yeah.
For Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula's like, I can't handle that. So yeah. I don't ship that one.
Have you watched the new Dracula on Netflix?
Is it good?
Okay, I think it's only like 3 episodes or something. Each episode's like a movie, so it's like an hour and a half. So the first 2 were really good, and then the last one, you're like who wrote this? But yeah, the first one, super good. Second one's pretty good too, but the third one,
you're like, what?
Weird. Yeah, I mean, you should watch it because it's like the same Dracula like throughout the 3. But yeah, just know that the third one's a little bit wild.
Yeah, the last vampire other than Twilight stuff I watched was Interview with a Vampire because they're redoing them. They're gonna remake them.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm so excited. But I'm like, how do you remake that? It was so good back then. It's so good.
Like a Netflix thing or like an actual like in theater?
Hulu is doing it. Is what I heard. But yeah.
Hi.
So we're playing Rip It or Ship It, and this is our next one.
Okay.
Bella Swan and Aro. Honestly, I've seen so many fan fictions about this.
Shut up, really?
Yeah, and I'm just like, why would you want to be with Dusty Crusty Aro? I mean, it's better than Marcus, but like, Aro's creepy. He's so weird. He's like a circus act. I don't ship this.
You said you don't ship it?
I don't ship this.
Yeah, I don't ship it.
He's like always like being weird and like Isabella and like what a pleasant surprise. I'm like, no, it's not with you here. Get out. And he like killed his sister, which was Marcus's mate. Like,
yeah.
Why do you want to be with that? Because Marcus would probably kill you just to get back.
Right.
That's why he's like stoned because he doesn't feed.
What are your thoughts on Legacy? So I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either, but my thing is like I haven't watched it because I don't really like who they chose for Hope Michelson. Like not like the aesthetically look. Like I just don't see her as Hope and like Haley and Klaus's daughter. I'm just like it's like this random person. But I'll probably watch it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. They're making like a season 3.
I think so.
I think they're on season 3. But yeah, I'll watch it for Alaric.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
Too.
For who?
The twins, Alaric's twins.
Yeah, I want to watch it for like the other people.
Yeah.
But I didn't really, I don't know, like even in the originals, I didn't really like her character.
No, I didn't because I feel like they tried to make her like something that isn't like Klaus and Haley, but I'm like, in my mind, like she would definitely act like Klaus. Like she would be Klaus's replica. And I don't know. And she like like when they had the little girl, she was like a redhead. And I'm like, one is dark haired and one is a blonde, dirty blonde.
Yeah.
How are you getting a redhead? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, do you guys not know how genes work? Because this isn't working. Yeah. So I haven't watched it, but I want to just because
Yeah, eventually I'll get
I
it.
love the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Here's our next one.
Okay.
Bree Tanner Wood from
Okay.
Twilight and Alec. Oh wait, I shipped this. Okay, like Alec saving Bree from his sister in the clearing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd ship it.
I'd ship it. Like honestly, I'd ship anything with Alec. I'm like an Alec stan. But yeah, could you imagine? That would have been a cute. Why didn't Stephanie do that? I should have written Twilight. Me next after I get off the live, just make fan fiction of Brie and Alec.
Fan fiction is published nowadays, so
I know. Apparently, that's where it's at. Renesmee, Cullen, and Laurent. Oh no! Oh no!
no.
He tried to kill. I dropped Laurent. He tried to kill her mother. And Jake would never allow that.
Yeah.
Jake would be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, Laurent. You were cool in Twilight. And you just
until he wasn't.
Until he wasn't. Until you just like were a creep. Alright. I feel like I'm picking only Twilight things, but I swear I put other things in here. They just know. Oh, that's not one. Apparently I put a blank one in here. Riley and Caius. Oh no. I hate Caius with a burning passion. And Riley is Riley loved Victoria, so like his standards aren't that high. So, but
yeah, I just think not that I like Caius, but I know he was played by Jamie Bauer.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I'm always just like interested in him.
You're like, oh wait, are you actually Caius or are you Jace Wayland?
Right, are you Jace?
Like, which one are you? He's actually undercover. It's a secret covert mission that's lasted thousands of years.
Yeah, that would be a plot twist I would to read about.
Yes. Okay, here's some non-Twilight ones. Oh, and one. Rosalie Hale and Adrian. I can never say his last name. Ishukov from Adrian from the. Honestly, I think they would be good. Because isn't Adrian the one that's with Lisa, whatever, the princess.
The fire.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, Rose isn't that far off from her.
Who's the main guy in
Dimitri.
Dimitri, that's
but he's not a vampire. They're not vampires. They're like the Dragamore or whatever. I can never say anything in that series right.
Yeah. Okay, Rose and Adrian. Yeah, I ship it.
Yeah, I think Rose isn't that far off from Lisa or whatever her name is.
Didn't Dom Sherwood play him?
Actually, I think yeah.
We're having a full moment.
Yeah. What did you like that movie?
I mean, I love trashy movies, so I liked it.
I liked it. I watched the movie before I read the books.
Okay.
But I liked it. And I liked the main girl in it who played Rose.
Yes.
I liked her. So I was like, yeah, I like that one. It could have been, I feel like they could have gotten away with making more if they didn't do it the way they did.
I think there was like a petition or something to continue like the series, but obviously
I feel like if it like vampires do come back, I feel like a Hulu or Netflix or Prime is gonna pick it up because it's
like a really big world too.
Yeah, it needs to be that's why I didn't know why they did it as a
movie.
Because they should have done it as a TV show.
Mm.
All right. Bastion. Oh, you haven't read So this is the main vampire in
Oh, and the Beautiful?
I thought you had read that.
Okay.
And Elena Gilbert. Here, we'll pick another one for Elena because I didn't realize you didn't read that. Elena, who are you gonna do with?
I just haven't started.
Oh, Elena Gilbert and Jasper Hale. They're both kind of moody.
Yeah, I was gonna say they both have like an attitude.
Yeah, I think they'd work well together. And Jasper might be able to calm her down from burning down her family home.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be able to chill her out a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like she needs to chill.
I'll ship it.
I ship that. Like, yeah, I could see that happening. Give me one. Edward Cullen and Jackson Vega
Oh, who's Jackson Vega?
from Crave.
Oh.
Our Edward 2.0 apparently.
Oh.
Jackson's too full of himself to be with Edward. And Edward's too eager to be with Jackson. This poor ship. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go with no on that.
Yeah, it's just too problematic.
Yeah, they're like wild. And Jackson has other things to deal with.
Yeah, it's bigger problems.
Rebecca Michelson and Leah. Ooh, I kind of like that. Like, yeah, like I feel like Rebecca needs like a strong like counterpart like that doesn't take crap because she doesn't take crap as well. But like Rebecca has a soft side that I feel like could bring out Leah's soft side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I always thought Leah would like imprint on a girl. I don't know. I just always saw that being like a thing. I've read too many fan fictions like that happens. I don't know. I just always saw that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Rebecca, you finally get your happy ending.
Oh, I hope so.
Stefan Salvatore and James.
Stefan and James.
Well, if Stefan was Ripper Stefan, maybe.
I was gonna say, is he Ripper?
But other than that, James is. Stefan has too many feelings for James. Like, he's not gonna be okay with hunting.
Yeah, Stefan is quite emotional. He would not approve of a lot of the things James does.
No, he wouldn't. Because he doesn't approve of Damon ever in his life.
Which is a shame.
Oh, here's some werewolves now. Remus, Lupin, and Sam. Oh, wait, I kind of like this one too.
This is Sam.
Remus is sweet. Like a young Remus and Sam. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I mean, like, Remus is like an emotional wreck half the time, but it's fine. Why is there's water on my desk? I love Remus. It makes me sad just thinking of him. Oh. Carlisle Cullen and Klaus Michelson.
Ooh.
I could like see it.
Ooh.
At the same time, I couldn't. But like, Carlisle like is that like sympathetic part of the relationship that like all of his counterparts have had.
Mm-hmm.
Like Caroline, Cammy, like all of them have been.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like Carlisle would be like the Cammy.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna ship it.
I feel like they could maybe even each other out.
Even though Carlisle would not approve of the eating habits of Klaus, it's fine.
Yes. Maybe he would try to save his victims.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I ship that.
Yeah. Esme Cullen and who is this? Jane.
Esme Cullen.
Esme, I don't like. She's so sweet and soft, and my cinnamon roll. And then Jane is like, she probably could be that way, but like only with select people. Like, like Jane is very much like kind of a badass in my eyes.
Yeah,
and I feel like she doesn't show her emotions unless she's with her brother.
Yeah, but I feel like if anyone could bring a softer side out.
It's always Esme. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of ship it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it'd be cute. Maybe we could bring the Cullens and the Volturi together through this love story.
through the ladies.
Yes. Count Von Count from Sesame Street and Jacob Black. Poor Jacob, he's just destined to be with a vampire.
Guess so.
I think Jacob would kill the Count because he wouldn't stop counting all the time.
Yeah,
So I don't ship this, but it's funny he ended up with a vampire as well.
Yeah. He would get really irritated.
Yeah, because Jacob has a short fuse.
Mm-hmm.
He like has a, like just under Paul, which I love Paul, but like, man, you got a short fuse.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that Paul ended up with a Black. He ended up with Rebecca.
Mm.
Vampire Eric and Victoria. Oh yeah, I ship this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like Victoria and Eric. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do really love Eric.
So do I.
I really
need to rewatch that series. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Since like it ended, I haven't watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Emmett Cullen and Billy Black. This was the one that I was like, someone's
gonna end up with Billy, and it was Emmett.
Billy would not want to be with Emmett because he's a vampire for one, and two, could you imagine Emmett just bothering Billy all the time?
That's what I'm saying. Emmett would probably think their relationship is like the funniest thing ever, though.
That's true. I don't know how I feel about that. That's like a neutral. Like, I'd like to see it happen just to get the laughs.
Right. But neither party would really be happy.
No. Oh, I grabbed 3. Elijah Michelson and Cole Michelson. Well, I'm going to pick someone else for Elijah because
incest.
That's not working. Sorry, guys. Elijah Michelson and Scott McCall from Teen Wolf.
Oh.
I could see it. Like,
yeah. Oh, you're frozen again.
Oh, no.
There you are. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, Elijah is very much, like, serious, but, like, Scott would bring, like, the fun part out of.
Mm-hmm. And I also feel like, but they're kind of both. Well, Scott can be a little bit serious too. Like he's taken on that like alpha role, and
the alpha now. Yeah.
So I feel I ship it.
And I know. I always wanted Styles to become a werewolf. I was like, I was like, can you do something or like anything? Just give him something other than that. But alas.
I mean, he had something for that like one season.
Oh,
it wasn't a good something.
When he was with the Nagitsune, that was my favorite season.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh my, that really showed Dylan O'Brien's like acting skills. But like when he's running down, Dexter, no, the dog's scratching at my door. When he's like running down the hallway, I was like, dang. You get it, like it's fine. Like I'll love you even if you look like that.
Yeah, that was like one of my favorite seasons.
Yeah, Caroline Forbes and Angel from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I kind of like that. I like that. Like Angel has so many feelings.
He's so tortured.
Yes, but like at the same time, like Caroline goes for tortured guys. Like, all of her boyfriends except for Matt, were like these tortured souls.
Yeah, I mean Matt too, who's also tortured.
Yeah, but not it. I feel like it just like went from Matt to like tortured, like, straight to Klaus. Yeah, I like them. They'd be cute. All right. Let's see. Catherine Pierce.
Okay.
And Embry. Okay, wait. Could you imagine this? Sweet Embry.
And
Catherine Pierce.
Good God.
That would be something to see. I might ship this just for the fact that it would be such a crazy mess.
Just to see how it ends.
Like maybe he could change Catherine. Maybe not, but like maybe. Like she always likes the sweet. She likes Stefan more than Damon.
Yeah, she likes to torture her partners psychologically.
That's fine. We'll let you be the guinea pig, Every. Alice, Cullen, and Marcus. Honestly, they're both kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like she could be with Marcus because he's like just there. Like he's not really there. He's just like there.
He's just a stoic face.
Literally. He says like one or two things through the entire time we meet him.
Yeah, he just looks
like drag him to Forks, and you know he complained the entire time in his mind about being dragged to Forks. Like, what did okay, this is my question. What did the Volturi do? Did they like all run together? Did they like hop on a private jet together to get to Forks? Like,
I would go with private jet with a little running at the end.
Could you imagine that? Like a private jet full of all of them?
Oh my god.
Alex would be like, "Shut up, everyone."
Seriously.
Yeah. Only. Okay, so this is Lissa from the Vampire Academy and Simon Lewis. Oh, I kind of like this. My baby Simon.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Yeah, because
they're both really like sweet,
and like she's also like really badass because like he goes for like Izzy.
Right, she's like a pretty badass.
Yeah, I like that, and like the sweet nerdy kid. She would go for Simon.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Michelson and Jared. That is too much ego in one. Like both of them together would be like testosterone through the roof.
Yeah, knowing Cole wouldn't go so well.
Yeah, and Jared is the beta, right? He's the second in command.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because Paul changed after Jared. I always get that mixed up because I always think Paul is the beta, but it's not. It's Jared.
Yeah.
Which, thank goodness, it's not Paul. Could you imagine that? That would be a mess. No one would listen to Paul.
Yeah, no one. Yeah.
Oh, here's speaking of Paul and Damon Salvatore.
Oh God.
They would kill each other.
Yeah, same story, just too much.
They'd kill each other. I mean, I think they could be friends, but they'd kill each other.
Yeah, they would appreciate each other's assholeness.
Yes.
That's it.
Everyone else would want to kill them as well.
Right.
Seth and Dimitri from the Volturi. Poor baby Seth. Dimitri from the Volturi, he is the one that is the tracker. So the big buck.
Okay. Yay. Oh, yeah. And then you said Seth?
And Seth. Poor baby Seth.
Yeah.
Like, Seth is so sweet. And then you have Dimitri. I don't know if I kind of like it. But I don't know if it would, I don't know if it would work.
Right. Not long term, but like.
Especially because Dimitri doesn't like the wolves.
Yeah.
So it's like.
At all.
Mortal enemies? I mean, enemies to lovers? Maybe. Oh, here's our last one.
Okay.
Felix and Spike from
Vampires
for the Air. I don't know, because we don't really see a lot of Felix, but I feel like he's like kind of the jokester of the group, and then Spike's like kind of that way too. Like I feel like Felix is the Spike of the Volturi. Maybe they'd work, but maybe they'd kill each other at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, that was all of our Rip It and Chip It's. We got some really interesting,
really good ones.
Yeah, that was fun. I always like playing Rip It or Ship It because it's like, what are you going to get in these?
And we had some pretty pretty good.
Interesting ones. My favorite is still, oh, where'd it go? I don't know where it went. I might have put it away. My favorite was still Alec and Bree.
Oh.
That would make it perfect.
Oh, could have been.
I don't have time to write a book and fan fiction, but like if someone could write me that.
Oh my god. So you're working on your novellas, right?
Yes. I finished them. And so now I'm editing them. But I don't know when they're going to be published or anything like that because of the whole COVID thing. I just like don't know if publishing them right now is like a smart move because even like big published books are getting pushed back unless they're like Midnight Sun or something like that.
So where are you with the sequel?
The sequel, I just started it. So Dark Radiance and that comes first, and then the novellas come because stuff in the novellas explain stuff in the sequel, so you have to kind of read them all. So it's a companion novel, but like you really should read this to like get the full picture, but you don't really have to. But yeah.
And how many do you have planned of the novellas?
It's 2. So it's Aspen's story, and then Claire Holloway's, which is a town ghost. So okay. Yeah, it's like 2 different novellas at the same time that happened before Lily was born. So it's like explaining like how they got to the decision of like leaving. Like,
okay.
That. How they all, so yeah, it was super fun, and I love characters. And hard because I want to write a Midnight Sun for each one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, you're working on the sequel to your book, right?
Yeah. So I'm on. Hold on, you froze again.
Oh no.
I can hear you, but still frozen.
Am I frozen now?
A little bit. Okay. Yeah, so I've just started the 4th draft. So my sequel's called The Hell Game. So it's going pretty good. Like I'm just kind of like doing like a fast read through, like editing like here and there. But I finally feel like I'm at like a pretty good spot with it. But the book is huge. Like I'm so sad for my wallet.
How long is it?
So the Devil's Lair, the first one was 100,000 words. And right now, the second one, like with the scenes I want to add in mind, it's probably going to be like 140.
So how many pages was the Devil's Lair?
I think it was only like 360.
Okay, that's not
so I purposefully like made it a little bit smaller, like especially with my margins and stuff. Like I don't really like the huge like margins. I just think it's a waste of space.
Yeah.
So it probably won't be like physically super big, but with like editing, it's gonna be big.
Yeah. Dark Radiance was like 400 pages, but I have bigger font because that was one thing that I was like, I can never see the font. So I'm going to make this like a little bit bigger. It's not like a ton bigger, but yeah, I have to set myself like a limit, and Dark Radiance was only like 85,000 words.
Okay.
So.
Which is like normal. That's like a good, especially for like a first book, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, originally when I first finished it was only 50,000 words, and then I went back and like added like all the like scenic parts of it because I just don't do that originally. Yeah. But like the novellas are going to be 40,000 each. So in total, the entire book is 80,000 words because it's like a bind up.
So. Yeah, I had started for camp like a different like a series that I had planned, and so I wanted them to be like a little bit shorter so I can kind of do like a little bit faster of like a release, not like once a month or anything crazy, but like a little bit faster. And so I was like, okay, 50,000 is probably that's like a good size, you know? Like, it's not a novella. So I was like, okay, 50,000 will be great. And then I'm like drafting in. I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm like 25,000 words in. Like, wow, I'm halfway. And then I looked at my plot, my what's it called? Save the Cat, like my beats.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh no. Like I was barely at like maybe the 30% mark. Definitely not 50. So
Oh shoot. Yeah, I'm definitely an overwriter. It's a hard life being an overwriter, but I don't use I drafted, so the next series I want to work on, I drafted that for a video, and that was cool because I did a little bit of the Save the Cat, but I'm like a full pantser. Like I don't draft anything. Like I do like little plot points, and then I'm like,
yeah, I am a firm believer now in Save the Cat because I don't think I'm like an underwriter or an overwriter, but I just change a lot.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I just completely rewrite. So I'm like, what's the point of me like rewriting this whole freaking book? But I think for me, do you like follow, you know the beats, right?
Yeah. I have the book, I've read it. I just don't use it.
Like the fun and games. So if you guys don't know, the fun and games is supposed to be 20 to 50% of the book. And that's what they say is like typically what your blurb is about. It's like why people read your book. Yeah. So I do plotting like really well, everything but that section, which is like funny because you would think that'd be like the easiest.
I just think it's weird that you would put the fun and games as your plot, like your blurb, because I don't feel like the fun and games is in my blurb for Dark Radiance, but everyone I mean, I guess it is, but not really. Like Dark Radiance is kind of dark though, so it's like there's not a ton of fun and games in there. Like,
yeah,
they're dealing with a lot, so
there's a lot of emotional games going on.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know how I would stick that in. Like, yeah.
I just, and I think that, not that that's like holding me back, but I don't know, maybe I need to just like untrain my mind of thinking like this is where like the blurb is, because I'm like, oh my God, so much pressure. Like this is why people pick up the book. But I mean, as long as your story, you know, goes towards like a midpoint.
I don't write the blurb until I'm completely done with the book. Like I never write my blurb or my tagline. Like I didn't have Never Trust a Bedtime Story until like right before I like made my blurb. I was like, what can I do this? And then I was like, bedtime stories, never trust a bedtime story. That sounds good. But like now the novellas, they're called Dark Sacrifices. So that's like a bind up. But my original title for the first one was actually one that someone else is now using for a book.
Okay.
And so it's The Devil's Waltz. So that was my original. And so Jessie's now using that for her book. And I'm like, shoot, I can't use this now because she's using it. And I don't want to take her, look like I took her title. But I've had this for a while. So I'm like, I have to change that title. Claire's doesn't even have a title. So I'm like, yeah. So I never know the blurb or anything until I'm like fully done with that.
Yeah, I like to do like a draft of the blurb just because it helps like know where the story is going, but I don't have like anything set until obviously like way later.
Yeah. And like Dark Radiance started off as being like something totally different. Like I was gonna have a love triangle in there, like between her and Asher and Finley, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want to write a love triangle. Throw that out. Like, so, and I write very much like I'm seeing it on like a TV screen. Like that's how I view my writing. So I just kind of go with the beat of what my characters are doing. I'm like, oh, we're going here? Okay. So yeah, I know like the beginning, and the end. Like I knew Dark Radiance started with Lily coming into this weird town, and the end was her running away from a masquerade ball. Like that's all I knew. And the ending of Dark Radiance changed like 3 times. Like I rewrote that scene 3 times because I was like, oh wait, this happens. Oh wait, this happens. And then I finally was like, okay, it's all done.
Yeah. I feel like I usually know like the ending before I know like everything else. Like that is the thing I knew from that when the idea like formed, I knew the ending of The Devil's Heir was always going to be that way.
Yeah. I like, yeah. Well, originally Dark Radiance started as Angel Families of the 7 Deadly Sins. And then I just found that in the back of my closet. I was like, wow, what was this? Okay, bye. And then Liliana came along and she's like, actually, it's my story.
Yeah, you're like,
I like started writing all this out, like Aspen and Claire and like the main like group was like the main characters, and then Lily was like, actually, I know you're like 35,000 words into this, but I'm here now. And I was like, oh, thank you for showing up.
Right.
Really appreciate that. What?
Better late than never.
Literally, I was like, where were you? What were you doing? Just chilling, you know? But yeah, sometimes I surprise myself. Like, my friends say, like, if they watch me write, I'll be like staring off writing, and then I'll go, oh, that happens? Like, I'm talking to someone, and they're like, you're so weird. And I'm like, it just like I surprise my own self sometimes.
So you said your next idea you wanted to attempt to traditionally publish, right?
Yeah.
So do you have like a backup, like a for sure self-published series that you're working on?
Well, all of Dark Radiance is
after that series.
After that, no, but I wouldn't be opposed to self-publishing the series like afterwards.
Okay.
I wouldn't, if I could traditionally publish this next series I want to, I would, but if I have to self-publish, I wouldn't be like upset to do that.
Yeah.
But I noticed that a lot of like publishing has been really looking at self-publishing as of late, as like a credential, how you have done. So I just really want, like with Dark Radiance, to make sure I'm getting like my reviews up and like all of that. Which Goodreads, this is what's frustrating. On Goodreads, I have a lot of reviews. Like I have like I think 25, pretty good. But on Amazon, I only have 12, and I'm like, okay, why can't you combine these and like have like a Goodreads section on like Amazon, or like you can go click there. It's frustrating because Amazon doesn't take those reviews that people have and promote your book, because you have to hit like 50 reviews to like promote your book.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because at least like on your Kindle, like when you're reading on your Kindle, as soon as you finish a book and you submit a review, there's like a button that's like already on, I guess, that will automatically like pass it over to Goodreads. So like I wish it was the same on Goodreads. Like as soon as you submit it there, it like automatically went to Amazon.
Yeah, I wish it did that too, because it's frustrating when I'm sending out review copies. Like I've been doing that, and people are reading them and they're liking them and they're going on Goodreads. And like I don't want to be the person that's like, can you put that on Amazon as well? Even though I already asked you in the review copy contract if you do both of them. But it's fine, like if you don't want to, because I don't want to be that person that's
right. I'm like, please.
I'm like, but it's great you did it on Goodreads, but like what really matters is Amazon right now. Like, because my goal at the end of the year was to have 50 reviews on Amazon, and it's more looking like on Goodreads. Because like I already know people who are like Goodreads will promote it to like, if you read this, you'll read this.
Yeah.
And like readers get that, but like people who aren't on Goodreads, it's like I want it to push that way, but it's hard. Marketing is hard.
Writing, authorship is really
hard. But I just redid my website, and
nice.
Yeah, that was a 3-month process. I had to sit down and do it. It just took a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everything I liked was on there.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's fun.
I'll check it out.
I know. I looked at your website the other day and I was like, "Oh wait, this changed."
Yeah.
I did Brittany's author boot camp, and like yours was one to like look at. Like,
cool.
Yeah. And so I was like looking at yours when I was doing it because I was like, "Oh, this is cute." And then when I went back, I was like, "Wait, this has changed." When did you change this?
I think it was maybe like a month ago. So
okay.
Recent, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait. Because you used to have like the dog feet and your dog.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was so cute. I loved it.
I did a new logo, and then I added like all of my projects, so you can see like my mood boards from.
Oh yeah, I did that too. That was a lot of work to get all the. Even though I only have 2 projects, I have so much stuff on there. I'm like,
yeah.
So, yeah. Well, this was fun. We've been on here for 2 hours, so I hope everyone enjoyed it. Let us know.
Yes. Please feel free to DM us on Instagram. Let us know how you're loving Midnight Sun.
Yes.
We'd love to talk.
Yeah, all the links and like Leilani's and stuff are in that's what it's
Cool. Well, thank you. I enjoyed chatting with you.
I enjoyed you. Bye guys.
Okay, bye guys.